So yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to Multimodal Weekly. This is an initiative hosted by TwelveLabs. We're an early stage, a Series A startup focusing on building multimodal video understanding. We've been working on a weekly basis for the past 2 years or so. Here are some of the topics that we tend to cover, every week. A lot of work on the research side of things on building multimodal AI, foundation models. Sometimes we, introduce partners, developers, founders who build interesting application in different verticals based on our community. And sometimes with internal team members come in and talk about how to use our technology platform and APIs. Here's examples in the recent session that we had over the past month or so, mostly on the research side. For today's session, though, I'm super excited to welcome two of our very close partners on the media and entertainment side. So we'll have TrackIt and AWS, who's going to join on our solution architect from TwelveLabs, who give a talk about how we can do spot auto highlight generation, leveraging the three technologies together. So today's session we'll have Simon Lecointe, currently a senior solution architect at TwelveLabs with extensive gaming and media entertainment expertise. Over the past couple of years, he's leveraged video foundation models to streamline creative workflows and drive innovation. And then from the TrackIt side, I think originally we have Alex, but I think Jeremy is going to be actually the new speaker who can represent the TrackIt team. He's a lead software engineering, currently working on media management workflow, GenAI, and retail projects for TrackIt. He also have a lot of expertise working in serverless and AWS. And then finally, we have Evan from the AWS team. He's doing a lot of US consulting, solution architect for AWS for nearly 3 years, and he has a strong background in workloads in both media and entertainment and Internet of Things. Yeah, so that's a quick introduction for the speakers. And for the attendees, feel free to send your questions in the Zoom chat. And then, we have a more extensive Q&A session after all the speakers finish. So with that, I will stop sharing my screen and I will enable screen sharing. I assume Simon will get started.
Sounds good. Thank you, James. So I'm going to take over the screen. I think it's going to be easier this way. All right. Can you see my screen now?
Yep, we're going to see it.
Perfect. Oh, okay. That's not the right screen. Sorry about that. Okay, so maybe I can quickly go through the agenda and then I'll let Evan take over for the AWS Bedrock portion. So we're going to do a quick intro with Evan on AWS Bedrock. I'm going to then do a quick intro on TwelveLabs, like a business level intro. TrackIt will do the same, and then we're going to go through the demo with the workflow that they've put together, TrackIt, I mean, for automated sports highlights. And then we're going to do like a 10 minutes, 15 minutes Q&A at the end. That's, I'm going to let you drive, Evan.
Awesome. Thank you. So I'm going to give a super quick overview of what generative AI looks like in AWS and what are the types of different services that AWS offers related to GenAI. So this is a quick overview of AWS's GenAI stack. We have it split into 3 separate layers. I'm going to be working from top to bottom. So we're going to go ahead and start with that top layer of the stack. And at the top, these are applications that are powered by generative AI and leverage foundational models. We want to bring GenAI to everybody at work. And so last year, Amazon released a service called Amazon Q. Amazon Q is our generative AI assistant that will help you make organizational data more accessible. It'll help you write code, answer questions, generate content, do a whole bunch of different things. You're able to upload your organizational documents into a RAG database in the back end or a knowledge base, and that will power all of Amazon Q's content to make it accessible everywhere. And you can see Amazon Q is available for a variety of different personas. We have Q for business and Q in QuickSight for business people. Then for developers, we have Q Developer. This is a code completion tool that will help, and it'll help live in your IDE to help you do code completion, code generation, etc. And then for specialized use cases, we have Q in Amazon Connect, which is our call center service, and then Q in supply chain as well. Next, I really want to spend more time here focused on the middle layer of the stack. This is where Amazon Bedrock lives. So to give more detail here on Amazon Bedrock, Bedrock gives you the choice of leading foundational models, all available through a single API. There's a bunch of other features available that'll help you to leverage these models to the best of their capabilities. You can do model customization, retrieval augmented generation. You can build agents using Bedrock, and all of this is built with security, privacy, and safety in mind. So none of the data that is put through any of the models that are run in Bedrock are used to train any of the underlying models. All the data is, of course, encrypted in transit and at rest. Data remains in the region where you're using the service and where the API is being processed, and there's support for a whole bunch of different compliance regulations, depending on, if you might or might not work in a regulated industry. And highlighting a bit more here, the specific safety features that are available, we call Amazon Bedrock guardrails. Here you can configure thresholds to limit or filter undesirable content for both text, images, and video. You can correct and identify incorrect factual claims. You can define different topics that are allowed or not allowed with natural language descriptions, and a whole bunch more security settings here so you can leverage generative AI responsibly. And then I'll briefly highlight here at the very bottom of the stack, this is where if you're building your own models or customizing or training your own models, this is where you'll spend the majority of your time. And here mainly I want to focus a new tool that was announced at reInvent, SageMaker AI and SageMaker AI Unified Studio. So this is a specific feature that'll let you access the latest publicly available foundational models. You can build these FM from scratch or customize existing foundation models. You can run inference against them, and you also be able to implement what we call FM ops or foundational model operations and governance on top of all these models that you're building. So it's a very brief overview of generative AI at AWS, and I'll hand it off to the TwelveLabs team to do their overview.
Sounds good. Thank you, Evan. I was muted and I couldn't unmute myself. Thanks. That's super helpful. So I'm going to do the same with TwelveLabs. Maybe some of you are familiar with what we do, but I'm going to do like a 1,000-foot overview. So TwelveLabs is the world's most powerful video intelligence platform. So we build video foundation models that understand video like humans do. It's driven by the world's first video native AI. So we started 4 years ago to build 2 foundation models from the ground up and iterating on those on a very regular basis. And the goal is to unlock the world's vast video potential by providing insights from those videos. So we were founded in 2021, headquartered in San Francisco, and with an office in Seoul. And that's a list of top-tier VCs and enterprise behind us, and the list of our partners as well in here. So AWS, Snowflake, Databricks, MongoDB, and others. And we are on the security side of things, SOC 2 compliance. So the problem that we're solving with TwelveLabs is a long time problem that has been around in the industry for quite some time, especially in media entertainment, is how do I find my content? And the search experience to find the content has always been a struggle. So what has been done so far was to try to tag the content with keywords, but doing that on assets that do not capture the essence and all the meaning of what's going on in videos. And it does not capture the temporal understanding of the video as well. So that's what we've been trying to improve and enhance. And ultimately, with those tags today, the search experience is not great for your users. So sometimes you know that you have the content somewhere, you know that it's here, but you are unable to find it in thousands of hours of video content. So the way we are doing that to enhance the search experience is by introducing those 2 models. So we have Marengo and Pegasus. That's our 2 foundation models. Marengo is dedicated for semantic search. So we are generating a representation of the video. So it's video embeddings. And from there, we are capable of finding very granular information about that video without any metadata or without any tags. On the other side, we have Pegasus. So Pegasus is the VLM, so it provides insights into text format of videos. So you can ask questions to Pegasus, you can create summaries, you can get highlights, and that's what TrackIt is going to showcase. They've been relying a lot on Pegasus, and they've done much more than that. It's not just about Pegasus, it's also with Bedrock and a combination of different tools. But yeah, that's part of the demo that you're going to see today. So Marangon Pegasus, pulling ahead of the bigger players, we get excellent results in different benchmarks, video representation, video language alignment, video language generation as well, versus the big player here. So yeah, the way it works, as I was explaining before, we are creating video embeddings from the videos. And from those embeddings, we are capable of extracting a lot of information, enabling search and enabling text generation. All right, so I'm just going to show you a quick example of what it does. So it's not about finding just keywords, but you can really go deep into natural language search. So like, for example, here, receiver catches deep ball for a touchdown. It's really going into the meaning and the context, looking at the visual information, looking at the audio information, looking at everything on screen available in the video without additional external metadata. And the way we shine the most is by using TwelveLabs and a combination of other tools. And you're going to see that with TrackIt in a minute. But we really bring the video intelligence to your existing video application. So we are API first. We don't have a front end or user interface. It's API integrations with video platforms. And we do so, of course, video understanding, and you can bring that understanding and intelligence to different type of applications. So media asset management platform or nonlinear editor environment or fan application or player analytics for sports-related use cases. So Jeremy is going again to show you all that, and it's going to be much better than slides. But one of the things that you enable once you have a deep understanding and granular understanding of the content is the creation of highlight. So instant clip and reel generation. You can find any scene, any object or moment across millions of video hours. And you can also personalize customer content and recommendation. And overall, it streamlines the archive management. So a quick example here, that's one of our customer. It's a public reference. MLC achieved 98% efficiency in highlight creation. So they are basically, before using TwelveLabs, they were doing a lot of like video clip creation manually, but this process takes forever because when you have to create a trailer or create a promo material for a new season of your basketball season or NHL season or any type of sport, it takes a lot of time. So with TwelveLabs, they were able to really go down from 16 hours to 9 minutes to generate highlights about a specific game or about a specific corpus of different matches and games. All right, that's it for me. I'm gonna leave Jeremy take over now.
So TrackIt, we are like AWS Advanced Service partner, headquartered in Los Angeles, with locations in LA, in Brazil, in France, and around the world. We specialize in building media and entertainment workflow in AWS and integrating those workflow for our clients. So we do like media to cloud integration with GenAI. We also do like cloud native software development for like serverless applications, scaling. We do also front end mobile apps. We have a very big range of expertise. And today for our demo, we'll present a use case. Was briefly presented by Simon earlier, but imagine you're running like an editorial like about sports and you want to publish reels. You have a big match on the night. You need to publish the reels very fast so they get traction on social media, on like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So you want to be the first one to publish those reels, and you want to speed things up and scale, because you can have maybe 2 different leagues for the weekend. You end up with like 10 matches you want to cover. And after you will have to generate those highlights, format them, send them to each different platforms. And that was very difficult before. Now, with the new advanced like LLM and GenAI in general, it becomes much easier. You can create agents that can search for specific highlights, generate some EDL files or other file format for you, so you can export and import in your like editor tools, and that will like allow your editors to focus on editing and not like searching for content and looking for information. So they got like a list of highlights or reels ready for them to use and ready to be published quite fast. And the result is like, yeah, your editors are spending more time doing like a creative work instead of manual research on specific match or like events you were looking for. So this is like the global architecture of the solution we built. So we have a client today, it's a chatbot UI, and it's connected through a backend through Amazon API gateway. We have WebSockets that triggers a Lambda, and that Lambda will trigger a Bedrock agent. And this agent will have a custom prompt and an action group that allows it to call different lambdas and do multiple actions. So for example, it could like search on Iconic, index a file in TwelveLabs, generate highlights from TwelveLabs, create files on S3, a big range of things. And this like the core of this solution is like integration between the three things here. We have Amazon Bedrock, Iconic, and TwelveLabs working together, and that allow us to have this workflow today. Maybe we can, yeah. So this is like I will show you a demonstration after this slide, but this is like a quick view of the UI we have on the left. And as I say, we use like Iconic, TwelveLabs, and all the AWS services. You can find the repository. It's public and open source for anyone to use and take a look. So you have the link here and a QR code, and we can show it again at the end if needed. I think now I will take over the screen and do the demo. I will share my screen. Up. Let me go through the slide. So we'll start going to show the demo via video, and after we'll go live on the chatbot. So we use Iconic, which is a MAM we use for other projects, and we have very good experience with it. It comes with like advanced search features that is very important for us here. And as you can see here, I will pause for a sec. We have a collection with half matches. So we have like the first part and second part of each match. On the right, you can see we have different metadata that are custom. So we have like the TwelveLabs video ID that, so before running the highlight generation, you need to index in TwelveLabs, and we use a metadata in Iconic. So the chatbot can know if it needs to index again or if the video is already indexed. And we used a team's metadata is an array of like the team that are playing, like the names. So it's useful for the bot to do some research. I will continue. So this is the UI with the chatbot. So on the left, you have the interface to talk to the chatbot. On the right, there are logs. So those logs are here to display what we have in the action group. So when we do a call for a Lambda through the chatbot, so we don't intentionally do the call, but the chatbot decides to do it for us. So here we can see the example of like, I ask, what do you have on Real Madrid versus Manchester City? And it understands that it's looking for a football match and that it can use a metadata called teams, and it translates those names into like names he can use for researching the assets in Iconic. So it's very flexible because you don't have to specifically say something. You can like, for example, I could just have say Real Madrid, and it would have searched for all the match of Real Madrid, and after I can like improve my search little by little. So it's yeah, I should not have paused, but so it's searching. So that calls the Lambda. The Lambda calls Iconic, return some sign URLs and some data from Iconic, and it can understand that we have two parts of the match, Real Madrid and Manchester City. So those are the two parts. And now I'm asking what are the highlights of the match, because I'm looking to create some reels I can use on Instagram, for example. So it understands that we are looking for highlight generation. It will call the endpoint for highlights on a specific video. So it can understand that, I will pause here, that we can use the index video we already had on Iconic. So the search previously returned the metadata, so he can use it. And he's building a prompt for Pegasus. So here, we don't hardcode the prompt. So based on the user request, it will build a prompt to be used in Pegasus that will generate the highlights. We will see when we go through the code how to like tweak some things. For example, like this part here, make sure to capture and build a play starting 15 seconds before the ball goes in. This helps to have better highlights, so you don't capture just the moment of the goal, but the whole like action and the result. So we'll start again. And you saw it did like two calls, one after the other, with a pretty similar prompt, because we have two parts. So we have two videos for the match, and you understand that he needs to search for those two video, and so it does like one call after the other. Here on the right, you see it started to, we didn't see, but it creates a file that is an EDL we will use to import in Adobe Premiere and see like the sequence of all the slides. So we see we have like two sections here, one for the first half. So we have like the goals from Haaland. We have some dribbling sequence, penalties. We have like the late goal for Real Madrid, and we get a EDL that will display those highlights. So we download the file, then we will go to to Adobe Premiere, sorry, and then we import the file into Adobe. And here we have like all the highlights we saw in the prompt. So here is like the first goal from Haaland. So we'll take a look at the clip. And you saw that the clip started way before the action, and you'll see that we can edit that through the, how to say, through Adobe Premiere. So you can like edit directly. You add the information of the highlight, and you can directly edit and create your content there. It's a nice goal. So here we'll shorten the highlight. So I want it to start at the action, not before the highlight, and up. Boom, I'm ready to go. And then we will go back to the UI. And in case you don't want to do like all this work on like going back to Adobe Premiere, you can directly request the chatbot to clip one of the highlights, and it will call Lambda with fmpeg. For the demo, you can use like Media Convert or any other solution to create a clip. But that will just like call a Lambda to create the clip and give you the clip in the UI directly. So that's provide like a quick feedback for the user.
And Jeremy, there are a couple of interesting questions in the chat. So sorry,
Yeah.
but I think it's
No worries.
relevant to ask them here. So there is one from Kingston. What function are you using to create the EDL open timeline? Is it open timeline IO? And what are the inputs to that function? So basically, how do we create the EDL and which tool is generating?
So the EDL are directly generated by the LLM. We use Claude 3.5 today, and it gets the output from Pegasus, that is an array of highlights, and it creates the EDL file on itself. So we don't use any function. We just leverage the LLM to generate the EDL.
And how do you ensure, so following question from Kingston again, so how do you ensure the EDL structure? How do you make sure that this is the EDL format that you get from Claude? Do you have like a verification or validation step, or you just...
No, but yeah, no, today we don't have a validation step here. I've seen it happening that we get a wrong format for EDL, and I think it's like once every 20 run, I will say. But we could add some following step and agents also to validate that. Because today we don't have a strict validation, we just ask for EDL and we get a result. But we could add another step to verify that, especially in the response of the agent. But yeah, today we don't have a validation there.
Sounds good. And could you show the EDL in text format, like the one that you've downloaded? It's a question from Michael.
Yes, I will. Let me go back.
You can.
No worries. Download. Up. It looks like this. Maybe I can open the question too.
Yeah, I think that's great. And Michael is asking if we are capturing other metadata from the prompt here. So I don't think we do. It's basically time-based information plus I think you provide some clip names as well that are generated by Pegasus. But we could go way beyond that. Like we could generate like a full description, and we could really complement the information here for each clip with Pegasus. So it's like on the TwelveLabs side, it's fully flexible in terms of the prompt that you can ask. So you can get like a lengthy description or a full summary of your clip if needed. That could make it to your NLE or as a... I'm not sure exactly where it would fit in the NLE, but maybe like comments or markers. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, because we can see in the previous where is the prompt? So we ask for a prompt at some point here. It's very simple, and we could make that very, we could extend this a lot to get like a global summary of the match, any other information we could be looking for. We can iterate on this and improve this prompt. And it will be by giving guidelines to the agent to guide the agent to build the prompt in a way you get more information. And that comes through like iteration. But like for this example, we didn't explore this that much.
And another question, and then I
Yeah.
ask a question from Suho asking how are the videos saved in AWS S3 for it to be automatically cut into highlights by the agent?
So the agent here, but we're exactly here, we have a function called generate clip, and we use fmpeg in a Lambda today with a Lambda layer, and we send the sign URL, start and end time, and fmpeg cut the video, save it on S3, and we get a sign URL back to the front end, and we can display the asset, like the clip.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy.
No worries. No more questions so far?
Yeah, I think we can. You can just finish, and we will take
Okay.
additional
Yeah,
ones.
we're almost there. So I just explained the clip, and I think, yeah, you can see the clip here. And yeah, so it's not the clip we shorten in Adobe Premiere, of course, but it's like the clip we had in the EDL, like the same timestamp and solution. And I think that's it for the video demo. I don't know if you want to go through questions or if I like play live with the bot. I don't know what we
We have a
want
question.
to.
We have one
Yeah.
additional question, and maybe James, that's something that you can help with. About it's about fine tuning without affecting the underlying SFT model.
You're talking about Pranay question, right?
Yeah, Pranay question. Yeah.
Yeah, so the question is, it is easily parameter efficient fine tuning without fitting an underlying supervised fine tuning model? Yeah, so I think the solution that Simon and Jeremy view here is more at the application side of things than like the research side of things. Yeah, so it's hard for me to like answer this question because there's not like a easy way, right, to do any fine tuning here. So yeah, I guess the answer is no at this point. But like in the future iteration, if like as let's say TrackIt present the solution to the customer, and there's very clear instruction from customer on like how the highlight should look like how the EDL should
Yeah, there
configure.
is something I needed to use because to be able to send it back to the front end, I needed a structure that is like I can show you the prompt. So I needed to match this response format to be able to send back to the front end here. And we were getting like it was not correct most of the time, I will say. So we added something that is like a post-processing prompt for the agent. So it's something you can add on Bedrock to validate when you get a response from the LLM. You can run a post-validation on it. And for example, I was getting a lot of explanation before my message. And after I added this like post-processing prompt, so I told him, okay, if you get this, I have found the policy violation, for example, you just remove the first, and you get the message. And after I added this, I never got a wrong structure again. So I think you can really leverage this on the agent side of things to validate what your output is and provide better consistency in your system.
Evan, do you want to provide any perspective from the Bedrock side on how
Yeah,
the techniques for instruction following was started?
yeah, really there's two main types of the validation that you can do. Like what Jeremy did here is having an LLM either could be the same type of model or an entirely different type of model that you're prompting to read the output and then make any changes there. The other type, if you're using a lot more, if you're asking the prompt for like a JSON output or a very structured output like EDL, you can have it you can have more structured format. And you can do something in like a super simple Python script or something like that that can check for that structure to exist. But yeah, there's functionality like this built in, like with Bedrock agents, you can have agents that are supervising, and then Bedrock guardrails as well has similar functionality, either for verifying specific formats of content, or let's say I don't know if you were doing like a live show, for example, and you wanted to filter out like profanity, or you had specific topics that maybe you didn't want to get filtered out. Bedrock has features that can do post-processing that way to make sure that none of that gets through to the final output.
Very cool. So a couple of additional questions, and so we have one from Michael. Any solutions for live stream in-game highlighting? So at the moment, I think on the TrackIt side, you would be able to do that. The bottleneck is going to be probably more on the TwelveLabs side of thing here. We do not support video streams at the moment. That's on the roadmap, and we plan to have it available this year. But right now, the model performs only and operates only on file-based type of content. So you can have like almost like near live, and we index the content very fast. Like it takes less than 10 minutes to index an hour of content. And then you can quickly generate those highlights from once the indexing is done. But it cannot be live yet. So we don't have like a live understanding, but working on it very hard. And we have a question from Fabio. Which other sports in this solution working? Football, basketball, samples? So I think here, again, that's like the solution that TrackIt built. I think it's sport agnostic. It would work for any type of sports. Maybe the prompt would be a little bit different when asking for highlights, because when you do like soccer highlights, you might focus on the goals and the red cards and like specific penalties. So the terminology might be a little bit different in the prompt. But it's really from a model perspective. On the TwelveLabs side, we have a list of sports that we deeply understand, and we have different granularity in our understanding. So, for example, American football, we have a specific data set that we've used for that. It's very well understood. Ice hockey as well, golf, baseball. So we have some already some customers using that for those specific sports. When we want to add new sports, for example, we are working on onboarding handball at the moment for a European project. So we go through two steps. First, we do fine-tuning of our model. So it's basically adding capabilities on top of the baseline model, and it becomes an expert in a specific area. So we can do fine-tune on top of the base model, Marengo and Pegasus. And sometimes we directly integrate the new capabilities in the base model when it's necessary. So it depends to two approaches, but definitely something that we can do to have more expertise in the way we understand videos in the specific field. And basketball is also one of the it's something that we already understand very well. Checking the question at the same time. Yeah, question maybe for you, Jeremy. Have you found that even with these additional checks, that the model gets stuck in local optima without admitting it?
So sometimes it was not about the formatting, but sometimes it lies on, for example, when it needs to. Okay, let me. Can you index the match for silence? Sevilla. So sometimes it will say like things like, do you want me to notify you when it's ready? And it's not possible, and is definitely like not accepting his capabilities right away. Oh, I need the socket closed because there is a section also on Bedrock. So yeah, sometimes it's in it doesn't admit things, and it's a bit frustrating. But I think there is like a angle you can like find to tackle that. I don't know if that answered the question, but yeah.
Good, thanks, Jeremy. And then we have another question from Suo. Along with different types of sports, how do prompt engineering differs with different type of insights? Like extended highlight, 2-minute short highlights, Instagram Reels, different camera angles. So I would say on the TwelveLabs end, we do not like when we provide highlight about a specific game, we would provide so you can instruct TwelveLabs to provide just a specific number of highlights, or you can instruct the model to provide kind of a time boundaries on the specific clip. But I think it's better to rely on the tool and the product building those highlights to define those boundaries and define those attributes on the highlights. So I don't like, Jeremy, have you experienced and experiment a little bit with like oh, I want just a 20 seconds highlight for Instagram, or like trying to do like a time boundaries, or like basically get only a specific subset of clips that TwelveLabs is providing back to you?
Yeah. So when you prompt, so the prompt we use for highlights, for example, I want a 20 seconds highlight of a goal from a resident, if there is one. So like the prompt we saw on the right when we're asking Pegasus is so for example here, I ask this and it's generating a specific prompt for this. So the highlight should start a few seconds before. This is an instruction. And it says like each highlight should be at least 20 seconds long. And so that matches what I asked here. I didn't try for 2 minutes, but I think we can try as soon as it generates a clip. But yeah, it's like very flexible. Based on what you ask, it can adapt a lot and build a prompt that will be useful for each task that is like generating the highlight.
No, that makes sense. And you can you can also rely on the LLM, right? To if you specify like a specific duration or the highlight type, you can say, okay, just that's all the clips, but just select 20 seconds of all those clips
Yes, definitely. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, like for example, here I have 20 seconds. Can I have an EDL for, or can I have a clip of the first 10 seconds of this goal. And I think it will just like create a new, yeah. So it would be 10 seconds instead of 20. And it can be doing the same for like the clips you get on output when you do an EDL or anything. And one very interesting thing, I think. So this we see like the redacted here. It's a protection from Bedrock because one of the function is called clip, and it consider clip as like a leak of information about the internal system. So it's like a hide it in a way. So instead of having like here is a 10-second clip, it says here it's a 10-second redacted because it's hiding the keyword clip. It's not very obvious when you encounter those kind of things, but it's what happened on the back. And here we have like so we have 20-second clip and 10-second clip. So it's very flexible.
Oh, good. And a question from Michael, can you ask for n seconds before and n seconds after the actual goal being scored? So on the TwelveLabs end, usually what we return is like a fixed duration based on what we understand. So sometimes it can be 4 seconds, sometimes it can be like 15 seconds. You never have the exact information when the goal is happening, like the specific timestamps. But the goal here is more to build like highlight and rough cuts so that you can refine later on inside your NLE directly. So we'll find the goal for sure, but if you want to specify the boundaries, we might be able to do that programmatically if you do like a frame analysis and like determine exactly when the goal is happening. But the goal here is to still have a human in the loop and being able to refine the exact moment and work on the transitions. And Jeremy, if you want to comment on that further.
Yeah, no, exactly what you just said. Yeah, we don't know the exact time of the goal from the response we're getting back.
Sue is asking about, no, we're getting great questions. I like it. How about ranking for extended highlight? How does the model rank and re-rank the important events within the match during the selection process? Are there specific instructions or standards?
So it's by the LLM. So here I'm asking for a list of highlights. So I think they come by default in order of time, but I think I can. So here you have like order by time, and I think I can ask, can you reorder by what by in how could we say it by impact on the game. And this will not call TwelveLabs again. It will just like reorder itself. So Claude will just check all the clips and reorder based on the information he got from Pegasus.
Yep. And I'll also add here, very recently, Bedrock now has a re-rank model available within Bedrock. So if you, for whatever reason, let's say, if you're doing a lot of re-ranking, you don't want to call Claude every single time you want to re-rank something and you want to maybe cost save there, you can have Claude just output the list of all the clips and then maybe with like a short description of each clip and then have that put into as an input to the re-ranking model that Bedrock has and then use an entirely separate re-ranking model that's much smaller, cheaper, faster, etc. So a bunch of different ways, at least within the application layer. You can do it either within Claude, do it with a separate model, either a dedicated re-ranking model, or you can use like a smaller version of Claude, like Haiku or something else, even then to do re-ranking as well.
Sounds
Cool.
good. And yeah, Sue is saying that she's using Cohere in Bedrock for re-ranking right now.
Yeah, so if you're currently using Cohere, here I'll see if I can drop a link in the chat about the re-ranking model that's available in Bedrock, so you can give that a try.
And maybe one last question for you, Jeremy, and I think after that we are running out of time, so we're going to have to wrap up. But are your users for this app more devs or editors? And is there a reason why you have the logs on the right side? And if so, do editors find the logs helpful?
No, so the logs are just for today webinar to have a better explanation of how it works under the hood. And I think, yes, the user are more, the target user is more like editors than developers. So this is just like for today to go in depth into like what's happening under the hood, but this is not, I think, important for the user at all. I think what they're looking for is that kind of information here on the left. And it is more like a debugging kind of interface to see what's happening under the hood. It's similar to if you go to AWS, you have like a test agent on Bedrock. And the test agent has way more details on it. But this is like as a high level log debugging is helpful for demonstration and like development and testing. But it's not on the UI we have for users normally.
That's good. And then the last one, do you think editors would like to see a web view timeline of the clips inside this UI, or you think EDL to Premiere flow is more relevant? It's a subjective question, but
Yeah, I think it's way faster to get the EDL, and if you have the file on your computer, you get the EDL, you go to Premiere, then to wait that it generates all the clips, because generating clips is quite slow, in my opinion, right now. So I think it's more convenient for them to just like go to the Adobe Premiere and do what they want there. But if you ask for all the clips, it will generate all the clips, and you will have all the clips in the UI, but it's not going to be a pretty UI at the moment.
To be clear, this isn't, hi everybody. To be clear, this isn't a product per se. So this
Yeah.
is a technology demonstration and it's open source and you can use it as a jumping off point. It might be a 50% or 60% solution for somebody so they can get started. But we definitely will find other people who want a customized whatever, and this might be the engine underneath the covers. The UI could be different, the output could be different, but just to be clear what this actually is that we're showing here, it's not a fully packaged product.
Yeah.
sounds good. Thank you so much, Jeremy, Evan,
Thank you.
and the TrackIt team, the AWS team, and James, if you want to wrap things up, I think that's the good time now.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Thanks for, I think it's a very engaging session. A lot of questions from the audience, and so I think discussion keep coming in. But I think and the code is open source, right? So it's
Yep.
I guess any attendees can jump in that code base and see exactly the implementation, how things are being built with Bedrock, with TrackIt, and with TwelveLabs. So yeah, super excited to see the output. And I think from the TwelveLabs side, this is a great partnership because yeah, like highlight generation, especially in spot domain, has been like a key use cases in medical first. So by working with partners like AWS and TrackIt, we can make the reality of that happening. So yeah, we definitely excited to see more of this kind of collaboration with our partners over the coming weeks and months or so. And for the webinar itself, the recording should be available via YouTube probably by early next week. So be sure to share that with here on our community, and you can take a look and rewatch it for additional content. Is there anything that that you want to revisit? And yeah, once again, thanks to speaker again, Simon, Evan, and Jeremy for spending your time on Friday, with integration. And yeah, thanks to attendees for participating as well. And I hope you have a good rest of your Friday and your weekend. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.